Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome for another day of our Grateful series. Today we are thankful for travel, and I'm doing something a bit different. I have pulled out alcohol inks, and this is not something I play with very often. I think I've only played with it like once or twice before. All of these alcohol inks are the inks that I'm going to be using, and I got those from my sister-in-law. She used to play with them quite a bit more than I did for a short period of time, and so I inherited them from her, so I thought I'd play with it. So I purchased this Yupo paper on Amazon, and it is roughly like 12 by 18 or something. So I just cut off the excess. So I cut it down to like a 12 by 12, and I'm pulling out that little um, air blower thing from Tim Holtz. I don't know what it's called. Um, and I am just playing with the alcohol ink on the Yupo paper. Um, I have played with it a bit on like photo paper. It doesn't work quite as well. You can do it, it just doesn't work as well. Um, so that is kind of like a shortcut to, or a different way of trying it out without a big investment. But I am I'm all in at this point because I went and bought the big paper. So I have a bottle of alcohol on the right hand side there. It's like 91% alcohol. It's just rubbing alcohol. And I have it in a little uh, silver cup there. And I am using a little pipette. And I'm just adding that to where I want the ink to flow. And it will like make these little rings when you drip it down. When you drip the alcohol on top of the color, it makes these little rings, but it kind of, they go away. They don't really stay. But I'm just trying to get kind of a rainbow effect all the way around the layout. And I am liking how it's coming out. I did use two different colors of green. This green has a little bit of blue in it. It's more like an evergreen versus that other one is called lime green. And then I am using two different colors of blue as well because I wanted the dark blue and the light blue since I have pink and red. I did do the orange out of order. I did pink and then orange just because I simply picked up the wrong bottle. But then I added some red to it and then used that little tool to blow it to the right a little bit more so that the orange would kind of fade into the yellow. So it's a little bit forgiving when you have this tool to work with. The only other time I played with it, I had to use a hair dryer because a heat tool is too hot, but the hair dryer blows really hard and it is not very forgiving in that matter because you end up blowing things off your desk. You got to have a nice clear space. But anyway, this seems to be working well, and it's kind of a learning curve on learning where to point it so the air comes out in the right spot that you want it on the paper. But after playing with it a little bit, I was able to get it to work right. So I set it aside just so it can finish drying. And then I'm going to take this wood veneer piece. This is from MK's shop, and I bought it like, I want to say last year. It could have been in January, but I think might have been even before that. But it is a beautiful wood grain piece or wood veneer piece, but it's really large. And so I wasn't really sure what I would ever do with it. I just knew I wanted it. I had to have it. And so I've been waiting for the right project, and this happens to be the right project. So I did try adding some paper glitz from Picket Fence Studio, and that was the first thing I added, but it wasn't white enough for me. And so then I decided to try and just add some paper glaze over the top, but because it's kind of thick, it was kind of getting on the sides of the wood veneer and not kind of filling in the sides, and it wasn't keeping that same the edges were not as clean is what I'm trying to say. And so what I ended up doing is going to my old standard, what I know works, and I am using some embossing powder. So I just took my Versafine or Versamark ink pad there, and that is just the embossing ink pad, and I am sprinkling some white embossing powder over the top of it. You are not getting to see me actually do the embossing portion because I'm doing that over my trash can. It is the cleanest way to do it because otherwise the powder kind of goes everywhere. And right there I didn't have the powder quite heated up enough so it picked up a piece of that embossing powder. So I do it over my trash can just because I know any of the excess will go into the trash can. It's not all over my desk. I'm also not blowing things all over my desk because I have a lot of stuff on my desk because I'm kind of back to back with projects and have not had a chance to clean it up. And so I am just doing it over my trash can. And it took about 3 coats to really get it to the white that I wanted it. Now this layout's going to be a little bit different because I'm not adding a photo to it. I have travel albums for like our Hawaii trip, our Mexico trip, our Alaska trip, and that kind of stuff, all of our big trips. Our other trips are kind of in our annual albums. Unless they have just way too many pages, then they will get their own album. And so in this particular case, I am going to just make a list of places I've been. And then on a separate sheet of paper, I'm making a list of places that are on my bucket list to go. And they are going to be in a pocket behind the layout. They will stick out at the top, but that's pretty much all I'm putting on here. And I know that seems kind of weird, but I think it's kind of fun because then I can go back and mark off when I get to go to those places, if I ever get to go there. And it gives you a good snapshot of all of the places that I've been so far. And it's kind of like my wish list. And instead of doing it like in a smaller format, like in a traveler's notebook or something like that, I don't really do traveler's notebooks. I haven't found that format to be really the right size for me. At least in the ones that are pre-bound. I'm considering trying the one that has a ring bound to it, but in this case, I just think it would be fine in my album. I do have an album that is kind of like all about me, things that I go do without my family, like my scrapbook getaways and that kind of stuff, because my family's probably not as interested in hanging on to that maybe as they are some of the other things. So I basically have one that just says fun with friends, and it's my album of things that I do with my friends that my family probably doesn't want to, they probably don't need to keep everything in it. So this might go in there, and when they look through it, they can pull this one out and add it to whichever album they want, or they can throw it away. I don't care. I won't be here at that point in time. So my title is just Grateful for Travel. And I just used that a die to cut those hatch marks. And that is a die from Altenew. I will put the link to it down below, or the name of it down below, so that if you're interested in it, you can find it. And I really like it. It just kind of brought in the right amount of black to this layout because I knew I wanted that black border all the way around the outside. And I think it just kind of nicely makes a nice little triangle around that wood veneer, so it draws your eye right into the center. So if you are interested in finding out what MK is doing for her travel, her link will be down below as well. So go and check her out because I know she's got something fantastic planned. She has done a lot more travel than I have in her life, and I'm sure she's got something awesome planned for her layout. I can't wait to see what it is. Basically, my travel consists of the US, Mexico, Canada, and that's about it. I have been to Hawaii, but that's still part of the US. So, and I have been in quite a few of the states. And so I really would love to go to like Scotland, Ireland, and Italy. My dad's family's from Italy. My mom is Scottish and Irish and maybe a little bit of English. So I would love to go to those areas. I'd also love to go to Greece and Australia and New Zealand. But, you know, the first ones on my bucket list are the ones that are where my heritage is from. So I am sticking this down with a combination of glue dots and with that liquid glue, just because I want to make sure that it's going to stay and not pop off the page. And then I am just using my tape runner to hold down the words grateful for. And those little letters are from, I have a stamp set and die set from paper tray ink, and they don't make that anymore. So I apologize that you can't get that anymore, but any tiny tile letters would work for you. So now I'm just making a pocket that will fit these 2 cards in it. And as you can see there, I'm just holding the cards inside the pocket where I think they should be, putting the adhesive in, and that is pretty much how the pocket goes. It's pretty simple. And then when it's in my page protector, you'll be able to see those tabs right at the top of the binder. They're not sticking out so far that they're going to stick out past the binder, but they are sticking out enough that they're sticking out from the page protector, and then you'll be able to pop those out and just basically see what I have written on it. And then I'm just adding some lines because I know my list is going to be quite long for the places that I've been. I am just writing the states down. I'm not writing all of the cities. And this stamp is from Rusty Pickle. It's super, super old. Can't get it anymore, I am certain, because they're not around. And I got it used. So any journaling card would work. The 2 dies that created those pieces of paper are from Elizabeth Craft Design, and they are not the same die because the tab is in a different location at the top. They are opposite of each other. So I'll put that down in the links below as well. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have questions or comments, you can definitely leave those, and I will get back to you as quickly as possible. Another thing I just wanted to say about travel is, you know, we really take that for granted. And with this past couple of years with COVID, people have really cut down travel. So I'm extra grateful for that. I'll see you guys again in a couple days. Bye-bye.